So yeah, my name's Gregg. I'm the Executive Director of Climate Solutions. It's really my pleasure to welcome you here this morning. I think many of you here are familiar with Climate Solutions. Some of you are new. How many people here have been to one of our breakfasts before? A lot of repeat customers. How many people are new? A lot of new. All right. Welcome, everybody. I just want to talk a little bit about what Climate Solutions is doing moving forward over the course of the next couple years. So we, as an organization, were founded almost 20 years ago. Next year will be our 20th anniversary. We were founded in Olympia. And since our founding, we have worked tirelessly for solutions. That is what we're focused on. And our mission is to accelerate clean energy solutions to the climate crisis. We've won a lot of big victories over the years that we're really proud of, from increasing renewables, passing bills to increase renewables, to an issue that many of you here in this room have worked on, stopping the export of coal from our shores. Won a lot of victories on that one more to come, so keep posted for that. So Climate Solutions is a regional organization. We work in the Northwest, we work in Washington, we work in Oregon, and our theory of change is really grounded in our belief that changes that we make here in the Northwest can have an impact far beyond our borders. That's the way we look at the world and the way we choose what issues we're going to work on. And I think it goes without saying that the need for action at the local, at the state, and the regional level has never been greater because of the results of the recent election, and of course the lack of real opportunity for progress at the federal level. It's on us right now to make change. So as an organization about a year ago, and the timing ended up being a little odd, we started going through an evaluation of our strategic plan and probably did the most significant relook at what we were doing as an organization our entire 2 decades of work as an organization. You know, so we asked a lot of questions as we went through the process, but the biggest and most significant question we asked was, what are the actions that we can take here in our region that can have an impact in Washington, an impact in Oregon, an impact in the Northwest, along the West Coast, but also that can have an impact far beyond our borders? Those are the key questions that we asked. And at the end of that process, we came to a pretty clear conclusion about what we feel like the best leadership opportunity is for the Northwest. And what we believe the best opportunity for leadership in the Northwest right now is to swiftly transition the Northwest electrical grid to 100% clean energy faster than anywhere else in the country. Which would be pretty cool and will be cool when we get it done, but we also want to leverage that clean grid to electrify our buildings, our transportation sector. We've got to get at the toughest nut to crack on climate change, which is transportation. We can really leverage that clean grid to rapidly accelerate clean buses, clean cars, electric vehicles. That's what we're doing at Climate Solutions over the course of the next 4 years. 100% clean and electrify everything that we can as fast as we can. Those will be the guideposts for us for the next 4 years. So, we'll engage in a lot of activities to make that happen. We will advocate for transformative public policies. We'll keep doing that. We've been doing that for nearly 2 decades. We are going to continue to cultivate the partnerships that are necessary to build the power to make it happen. Got to do that. We can't do it alone. And we're going to engage this activity with a firm commitment to equity, making sure that the policies that we advocate for provide for a just transition for those most impacted by climate change, and to do so in partnership with those communities. So that's what we're doing over the course of the next 4 years, and I could not be more excited about that direction. I think I would be remiss if I didn't for a moment talk about what's happening at the national level, and there's a lot to say there. I mean, I don't know that any of us have ever seen a week quite like last week, although I think Bill Rucklehouse is with us today. I think he's seen a week like that. Anyways, so but let me just talk about a couple things in the climate and clean energy space at the national level that I'm most concerned about. And the two that are most particularly concerning to me are the assault on science and the attacks on the EPA. I mean, there is an all-out assault right now by the Trump administration on science. Slashing budgets, shedding scientists from advisory committees, and basically creating a culture of contempt against science in our society. Not okay, and we have to resist that with everything we can. The Trump administration is also proposing massive cuts to the EPA. They survived mostly in the last round, but that will be back again in September and October. And really, essentially stripping away the EPA of its mission to enforce clean air and clean water in any meaningful way. That's also not okay, and we have to resist at all costs to make sure that that doesn't happen. I just want to acknowledge one person here in the room with us today who's been a really powerful and passionate leader on science with the EPA, Dennis McLaren. As I think many of you know, Dennis is head of EPA Region 10 under Obama. Dennis, please join me in thanking Dennis. Public servants like Dennis and many of other people here in this room today are more important than they've ever been. So Dennis, again, thank you very much for everything you've done. I want to close with some hope, which is, pretty darn hard to find sometime in these challenging political times. But the place where I want to help us find hope today is in jobs. And, maybe some of you have heard some of the stories and the numbers that I've said before, but I think they're worth highlighting because it shows that the solutions to the climate crisis and the arguments, the economic arguments, are strong and getting stronger every single day. So a couple quick ones. According to the new report published by the Department of Energy, in 2016, 373,000 people in the United States worked in the solar industry. 54,000 people worked in coal mines. Today, 6 times as many people are working in the solar industry as working that are coal miners. Not in 5 years, not in 10 years, not in 20 years, today, right here in the United States. It's incredible what's happening right now. I saw this really interesting stat in the Washington Post. I was reading a story in the Washington Post. It was probably a month ago, and it said, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the fastest growing job in the United States. Anyone guess what it is? Wind turbine technician. #1 fastest growing job. And the last place I found hope was in a most unexpected place. And it was from a newspaper story in West Virginia. And they were reporting on the words of a leading CEO, utility CEO in West Virginia. And the story was this: when Chris Beam, the new president of Appalachian Power, the utility there, talks about economic development, he brings a message that may not be very popular among the coal-focused political leadership in West Virginia. And here's the quote from Chris Beam. He said, "Giant businesses Appalachian would like to lure to the state as its future power customers, the Amazons and Googles of the world, make it very clear that when they are scouting locations for facilities like new data centers, they have to go somewhere that can guarantee them a power supply that is generated from 100% renewable sources." Pretty cool. That's in West Virginia. Jobs in the clean energy and energy efficiency space are on the rise. Huge corporate players like Microsoft are demanding clean energy when they make siting decisions, and that's making a very big difference in the market. We all know it, change is here, but we also know something else. Change is not happening fast enough to keep up with the pace of our warming planet. That's our job at Climate Solutions, and that's the job for everyone else here in this room, is to accelerate solutions at the pace this planet is warming. That is one heck of a challenge. I think we're all up to it. Thank you all for joining us here today, and enjoy your breakfast.